It is March in Ohio, which means that the weather is absolutely crazy. For the next 5 days, we are experiencing all 4 seasons of the year smashed into one. Seriously, check this out. We have cold weather, warm weather, rain, sleet, ice, snow, even wind. This is my backyard right here. Everything is kind of blowing around like crazy right now. It is cold. It's about 40 degrees. There is rain coming down, not very hard, but it's coming down. It's actually a little bit of ice too. I guess you'd call that hail. But I have this little area right back here that I'm going to go ahead and set up my tent. Why am I in shorts? Because that's how I roll. Today we are setting up the Panda orange inflatable luxury tent from RBM Outdoors. With an electric pump, this tent takes about 5 minutes or less to inflate completely. All right, so we've got it completely set up here. You can see I've got everything closed up here. I've got the rain flaps all staked out, windows closed, doors closed. I've got the big flap over the skylight, the side windows closed, and the back. It's supposed to get down to the 20s tonight. The lowest point will apparently be tomorrow morning, and I set up the stove over here. I went ahead and got some kindling. I cut up some pieces of wood to fit in there. So tomorrow morning at the lowest temperature it's going to be this week, I'm going to go ahead and do the wood burning stove test in this tent. And based on how the bigger stove works, I have absolutely no doubt that this one is going to warm this place up like nothing else. All right, it is 8 a.m. out here right now. Everything is frosty cold. Look at this. It's 24 degrees. This is the stove we're going to be using for this test. Again, this is the Campingwithnate S wood burning stove, the small wood burning stove from RBM Outdoors. It's so cold out here right now. My lips are like frozen. I can't even talk straight. I'm gonna finish getting this set up, get the stovepipes put together. As you can see, I've got a little bit of cardboard down here. I've got some kindling and some smaller pieces of wood. They need to be smaller to fit inside this particular stove. I'm gonna go ahead and take off this heat deflector too, so we can see the fire burning through the glass. So you can see that inside the tent here, it is only 25 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down right there so we can keep an eye on it. That's in the opposite corner than the stove. Now this tent does come with a clear plastic panel that goes on this side, as well as a clear plastic panel for this window up here, the big skylight. I do not have those in right now. I just want to see how warm it'll get in here without those. If we had those in place, it would greatly help how much it holds the heat in here, and if we had the rain fly over top, it would also help to keep the heat in. But I just wanted to do this test without that stuff just to see how warm it'll get, because I believe in this little stove. So I'm going to go ahead and get some cardboard torn up here. We'll put that in the stove. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of kindling in there. Let's go ahead and get that started here, and then we'll add some of the other pieces of wood, the bigger chunks. Now, like I said in my review of this stove, you have to cut your pieces down to fit this stove because it is smaller than the medium wood burning stove. So it will not fit the regular pieces that you buy like at a gas station or somebody's house along the road, maybe even a campground. That took a little bit longer to get started than I thought it would, but we are burning pretty good now. Yeah, I can already feel the heat coming off of there. And wow, it does already feel warmer in here. Let's go ahead and step outside for a minute. You can see a little bit of smoke coming out of that stack right there. And I haven't zipped this yet, but just sticking my hand inside there, I can already feel it is really warm inside the tent compared to out here. So it's been about 4 minutes since I stepped out here. Look at this. I don't know if you can see along the ridge of the tent up here, there is steam rising. That is hilarious. So let's go ahead and step inside. Oh my God. It's only been 4 minutes and it is so warm in here. We are definitely safe to go ahead and close the door now. We've probably been in here for maximum 12 minutes since that fire got started. This thing is absolutely a powerful stove. It's honestly getting so warm in here right now, my eyes are watering. I have not added any more wood to that than what you guys saw. And like I said, that's without the plastic covering on that window or the back there. I mean, or the rain fly. We don't have any of those things in place right now. And this little monster has it so hot in here, my eyes are watering. We're gonna hold it up here one more time before we finish the test. And literally within seconds, we're already up to 63. Look at that. And it's climbing fast. It is warm in here. I have got to unzip this and get some cool air in here. Oh my gosh. Step outside here and be able to breathe for a minute. That is an absolutely amazing tent and an even more amazing stove. Whew, man, look, even my head is steaming out here.
U.S. National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for Massillon. It'll be in effect until March 24th, 8 p.m. EDT.
It is pretty windy out here right now. It's not absolutely crazy, but we are having wind gusts up to 40 and 50 miles per hour. And our little tent is holding strong. When I set this tent up the other day, the wind was about 20-25 miles per hour. It was blowing my tarp all over the place, but once we got the tent set up, you could see that it wasn't going anywhere. We have a block of about 4 to 5 hours today where we're supposed to be having winds up to 50 miles per hour. And although you can hear the wind and you can see the fabric blowing around on the tent itself is rock solid. Honestly, I'm getting blown all over the place out here, and I can't get this tent to move. I can't even get the door flaps to blow in the wind. My gazebo curtains are all over the place up here, but the tent is going nowhere. It's pretty chilly too. Oh my gosh, look at the trees. And if we step inside here, I mean, you can kind of see the fabric moving a little bit. The walls are moving in and out. This up here is kind of flapping in the wind. But, I mean, the structure itself is just rock solid. It's not going anywhere. And you can hear that wind out there. I mean, it is just howling right now. Since I have nothing on the floor, you can even see the floor like breathing because of the wind that's getting up under the tent. But the worst thing that's happening is these are shaking a little bit. And as far as the fabric goes, I mean, I don't even feel the wind. Like, if it's really, really cold outside and you don't have the rain fly on, you can feel the cold kind of creeping in, but I don't feel any kind of wind or air permeating through this at all whatsoever right now. Now, anytime anybody asks me about how well these tents do in the wind, I always tell them it's partially about the build and the structure of the tent, and equally, if not more important, the way you have it staked down. So as you can see with this tent right here, we have 3 different stakes on each corner, so that's 12 stakes around the whole tent. It literally is going nowhere. I'm just gonna set up a time lapse here for a little while so it can capture these wind gusts as they come in, because they're coming in a little bit at a time, and I want you guys just to be able to see everything in the background moving around like crazy because of this wind, and the tent sitting here solid as a rock. So I've let that run there in 2 different areas for about 15 minutes each, and I mean, yeah, the wind's still blowing like crazy out here, but that little tent is going nowhere. I don't know what else I can do as far as this wind test, unless the wind gets even worse later on. So I would have to say, as far as a wind test goes, this has definitely been a successful outcome because that little tent is going nowhere. So we have a very basic drizzle coming down right now. It's definitely enough to get everything wet out here, but I wanted to look at this tent in every kind of rain that we're going to be getting. You can see we got rain rolling off of it right there. It's beating on here, so you can definitely tell that this is waterproofed. Yeah, you can see the water beating on there. It's kind of running off of the stove jack over here, running down the side of the tent. You can definitely hear it raining in here, but if I come up here and touch the fabric, there is absolutely no moisture coming through there whatsoever. And usually with any basic tent, once you go camping, even in the morning when there's dew, if you put your hand up there and swipe it along the tent like this, the water comes right through. We don't have any kind of water seeping through the seams. The stove jack is closed right now, but there's no water seeping through there at all. It's starting to come down a little harder now, but we don't have the plastic in here yet. This is just the mesh. It is covered with the fabric outside, but we don't have any kind of moisture coming through there either. Just looking at all these seams here, we don't have any kind of moisture coming through. And I'm going to be putting that plastic panel in here in a minute, but just so that you can see, no moisture coming through there whatsoever either. Let's step out here again for a second. Yeah, you can see the water kind of pooling on there and running off the side. So for just basic rain like we're having right now, this tent is waterproofed. And as it gets wet right now, and then it stops raining, the weather dries up, that will cause this fabric to kind of expand and contract, and that will make it even more waterproof. But as this rain gets heavier, yeah, you definitely will need to be putting on the rain fly. Now I'm going to go ahead and unzip this mesh right here, and I'm going to put the plastic window in here. It's much easier to put this in place when you have that flap open, but you can do it with it closed, so it attaches up there, it velcros across the top here, and then it just zips around the perimeter all the way up. Same with this back panel that goes on this door here. You just attach it down there, zip it across and around the perimeter. You do not have to take anything off to do that. That zips across the bottom there, and then you connect it over in that corner. Zip that around the perimeter, and there you go. Now we have the plastic panel on this skylight and on the back door there. Okay, so I got the back doors opened up there, the clear plastic panel on. It's starting to rain a little bit harder now, but it continues to just roll right off. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the skylight here, because we did put that plastic skylight in, but I will tell you, I do expect there to be some leaking through the zipper, because the zipper is so big on that thing. So we have that installed, we have it completely open. I just threw the flap over the tent for now. This is what it looks like from the outside here. And this is what I was talking about, where I expect there to be a little bit of leaking. You can already see a little bit of water that's kind of pooling on that zipper there. And with how big those zipper teeth are, I expect once we get enough water, it will start to drip through. You can see it over here. I could be wrong, but let's go on in here and just give it a few minutes. At the moment, the floor is completely dry over here. So if that starts to drip, we'll be able to tell it by what's on the floor. Now we do have this panel in here, and that's not letting any water in at all. I mean, that's at a 90-degree angle though. With all the rain coming down right now, that thing's not even getting wet. So I don't expect you to ever have to worry about that. I had the panel in my larger Panda, the Panda Large, in rain, and I never had any kind of an issue with any kind of water getting in back there at all. This was my main concern here. And yes, unfortunately, I gotta show you, it is dripping right there through the zipper. So as that water starts to pool on that zipper, then it starts dripping through there. And I really don't know what you could do about that. I mean, because it would be nice to be sitting in here and watching the rain through that giant window. So you would need to like maybe get some marine vinyl and just glue on like an extra little lip there at the bottom or something, so that the rain would just go right over that zipper instead of pooling. You can see we do have some dripping down there. I'm going to go ahead and put the rain fly on. Okay, we have the rain fly on now. I do not have it staked down at the moment. I just threw it on there and kind of arranged it. But let's go ahead in the tent here. And obviously that immediately solves the problem of that dripping over there. And I know that dripping is an issue. So I have personally ordered some marine vinyl, and I'm going to solve that problem for us. So be watching out for that video of how to solve that problem, because we want to be able to sit in here in the snow and the rain and the sleet and have that big picture window open and watch that rain running down the window. And as it is right now, we just can't do that, but I'm going to solve that problem, so stay tuned. As for now though, you can see that the underside of the rain fly is black, so that just totally blacks out that window right there. It does kind of make it cozy in here though. But I will say we got that plastic window in back there. It's not letting any moisture in whatsoever. The only issue we have had with any moisture, any rain getting in anywhere in the entire tent is just that issue dripping through that zipper there. Now, I will also say, if we were using our stove right now and we had the pipe going up through that stove jack is waterproof. The one on the Rainfly is waterproof as well. However, this hole is slightly bigger than the pipe itself, so there is a little gap in there, and you could have some rain dripping in there as well. Now, my experience with that is that if you're using your stove and it's burning and it's hot, as that water drips in, it hits the stove and it sizzles off. But what I highly recommend is a silicone boot that you connect to this right here, and it gives you a watertight and an airtight seal around that stovepipe. I have a video up that shows you where you can get it and how you can do that. Very easy process. Like I said, it's watertight, it's airtight, and it gives you more of a security against that hot pipe touching your tent. So for the time being, let's go ahead and zip this up here. I did go ahead and stake down our rain fly just in case the winds pick up, so it won't take the rain fly with it. And it's supposed to be raining here for the next like 3-4 days. So as the rain picks up, up if it picks up, and if it rains even harder, I'll be out here to film some of it. But with that rain fly on there, I mean, it could downpour for a week and it wouldn't touch you inside that tent. All right, it has been 7 days since I set this tent up. Today is Saturday. We still have the rain fly on from our rain test, plus it's supposed to be raining later on today as well. And I'm about to go check it out and see exactly how this has held up as far as holding the air from the first day that I inflated it. I've even got my pump here. I'm gonna hook that up and see what the PSI is. So I've got that hooked up. We're gonna see what the PSI is in just a second. But as far as squeezing these tubes go, I mean, they are still really firm. I can squeeze it a tiny bit more than when I first inflated it. So I won't be surprised if the PSI has gone down a tiny bit, but even at that, I mean, I'm squeezing hard on there and it's not budging. Even if I pull the frame down, it snaps right back into place. So if I were out camping right now in this tent and I had been out here for a week in this position, I would not feel any need to get out here and add any more extra air. But let's go ahead and turn our pump on. You can see we have it connected there. Turn the power on. Okay. And I have it set to 8 because I was using this on the Octopus. So there you can see we have it set to 7. So when I push the power button, if it is not on 7 right now, it'll go ahead and start up again and it'll show us where it's at. Yeah, see, I ran that straight through. It's already at 7, and it got up there very quickly. If it actually needed any more air right now, it would have got to a point where it slowed down. Like, that just went up real quick, but it would have got to a point where it would have slowed down and then slowly gone back up to 7 as it refilled those tubes. But as you saw with your own 2 eyes, that is not what happened. It ran straight up to 7. So this thing has held the air very close to 100%. So there you go, guys. That pretty much wraps it up. This has been an awesome week of weather testing. We've had rain, we've had high winds, we've had below freezing temperatures. Today it is almost 70 again already, and we did the air test. The only negative thing we encountered was the leaky skylight window around that big zipper, and I'm going to take off that rain fly right now and get right down to finding a solution for that.